It's Rise and Shine with Lady C, where we uplift, educate, and motivate. Let's talk about life and faith, community, and so much more. I'm Lady C, your host. Be sure to follow, like, and share Rise and Shine with Lady C on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you for joining me every week right here on 1580thepraise.com. And a special thanks to my faithful supporters and listeners. This episode is dedicated to the late evangelist Myrtle Dixon, who was an amazing woman of God and the grandmother of my special guest. And sending love to Sister Catherine Lightfoot and the Dixon family in Virginia. My special guest today is Dewan Lightfoot. He is an Air Force veteran and the creator of the Lab Everyday community. He has over 10 years of designing, implementing, and supporting enterprise network environments. Over the last 2 years, he has been focused on everything network, automation, and DevOps. Today, his goal is to create something greater than himself. He is currently giving back to the knowledge he has obtained throughout his career through his YouTube channel and by working with local organizations to help those that often are left behind in tech. Oh my goodness. Welcome, Dewan Lightfoot. Welcome to the Rise and Shine.
Oh, wow. I'm so motivated. That was an amazing intro. What's up, Lady C? How you doing?
I am doing wonderful. Oh, my goodness. Okay, I got to let the listeners know. Family, this is family on the line. Me and Dewan, we come out of the same ministry from Canton, Ohio. I remember him when he was a little boy. He grew up with my brother. He would come over and spend the night. So this is family, and I'm just so godly proud of you, Dewan, and all that God is doing in your life and what you're doing, in your experience with, with tech. So I'm just so excited to have you. So we're going to get right into it. So, Dewan, I was doing my research. So, there's a lot going on, with, careers in IT and tech. And, I was reading where, these careers in tech can offer pathways to economic advancement and prosperity. However, too many Black Americans, particularly Black women, face systemic barriers that leave the economic opportunity of the tech industry out of reach. So share with us on today, how did you get into IT?
That's a great question. So, like you, I'm from Canton, Ohio. I didn't have a father. I had no scholarships when I was graduating high school. I didn't consider myself that smart. I'm from the hood, so I didn't have any handouts, and I had even less options when I graduated. But the one thing I did have was a supportive mother and a supportive grandmother. So I decided to go to the military as a computer operator, and that's how I got my start.
Wow. And thank you for your service to our country. Thank you so much. So that's how you got started. That transition for you happened through the military.
Yes. If it wasn't for that, ain't no telling where I would be,
Wow.
My mom was actually the one that kind of guided me when I went in the military to say, hey, you should get you a computer job. And so I'm like, you know what? That sounds pretty cool. I think I will.
Awesome. So while you were in the military, did you see other young men such as yourself that looked like you? Were they going into, these computer, opportunities?
Not at first.
Okay.
There were a lot of people that looked like me that went into the military, but very few were, looked like me doing what I was doing. And so, yeah, that was a kind of a challenge that was a lot worse than what it is today, but it's still a challenge today. And we can kind of talk about that here in this interview.
Awesome. So, Dewan, share with us, what is Lab Everyday, your YouTube channel? Talk with us about that.
Oh, yeah. So Lab Everyday is my personal lifestyle that I would use to work every day to learn and improve in technology. I believe that small things are in the details of big things, and that consistency is the key. So Lab Everyday is how I live my life and how I was able to, I would say, advance my career in tech.
That is awesome. So while technology and innovation have become the fastest growing industry globally, Black professionals remain disproportionately represented within this space. So, my question is there representation, and what has been your experience?
Hmm. You know, I have so many opinions about this question. It's a question that we need to have a lot more often. But I kind of break it down from my viewpoint.
Okay.
When it comes to representation in tech, it's been terrible. But maybe not in the way that most people think. Let me kind of explain what I mean by that is it's terrible from the top down. So when you look at businesses as a whole, let's talk about Fortune 500 companies in America. There are no Black Fortune 500 companies.
Wow.
And of the 500 Fortune 500 companies, there's only 6 Black CEOs.
Did you say 6?
6.
Wow.
And so that means if you look at it, there's no ownership by the Black community, and we have very few that have the ability to provide an opportunity in these companies. So to me, that's the real problem. It's not necessarily just the representation, because we're starting to get tech jobs, but I think the bigger problem is outside of tech jobs. It's ownership and the opportunity to provide an opportunity to others.
Okay, so it's definitely even a much larger, issue at hand as well. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm stunned. 6. Wow. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
So,
most people don't know that.
yeah, I mean that's really, really interesting. So, Dwan, in these spaces of tech, can you share? I watched one of your YouTube videos and it was just so profound. Family, you got to check out his YouTube channel. It's profound. So, can you share, how does one balance their mental health in some tech environments where you or your culture is not embraced? How do you balance that? How do you protect yourself?
I think first of all, you gotta establish your why and set goals, right? That you have to establish your why, set goals, and know what you are willing to sacrifice to achieve those goals. And then also know what you're not willing to sacrifice. So set boundaries.
That's good.
Because no matter where you go or what you do, you're going to have to sacrifice something. You're going to have to pull up with something you don't want to put up with in order to achieve your goals. But at some point in that space, it may not be the path that you need to continue to travel. You may need to pivot to another company, another job, or another career field that's going to help you achieve what you want to achieve.
Wow. That's awesome. And I guess that can, that goes across, every industry, about having, those boundaries, and knowing your why. Why am I part of this profession? Why am I pursuing this? So that's awesome. So, Dwan, go right ahead.
No, I was going to say, there's a saying that I used to always hear when I grew up, and that's all money ain't good money. And if you think about it, some of these tech jobs will pay you very well, but at the same time, you may have to sacrifice things you don't want to do, things you don't believe in, and is it really worth it? You got to ask yourself that.
That's good. That's a good point. All money ain't good money. Oh my goodness, that is something. So, Dwan, is there still a digital divide, in the tech industry, and with women and people of color? Are you seeing, in these spaces, are you seeing women of color?
Yes, I'm seeing a lot more women of color, but I think it's more so that that's a tough question, right? Because I got 3 daughters.
Okay.
And of my 3 daughters, they're not really interested in going into tech.
Okay.
They're more creative and interested in, one wants to be a lawyer, the other one is a dynamic writer, awesome. And the other one, she's only 3. But I'm sure she's going to do something where she's in front of people because her personality is just huge.
Awesome.
So I think there is a divide, but if you look at the inner city where I come from, and the problem is We don't see network engineers. We don't see software developers. We don't see people in tech. So the visibility to know the opportunities that are out there, I think that's part of the problem too.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times when we get successful, we move out of the hood and don't go back. So it's I think that's part of the challenge of getting women and men of color, black people in tech, because when you move out of the hood, sometimes you don't relate the same to people that are still going through that struggle.
Okay.
You can kind of outgrow that. Your mindset changes, and people want to be like the things that they can see themselves capable of being.
Yeah.
So if they don't know your story, if they don't know you came from something just like them, they may not see the pathway on how to even get to where you are. So I think that's part of the problem too.
Wow. Representation matters. And that's an encouragement, for those, who have been blessed to make it. We really do have to be intentional about going back, to where we came from to help somebody else.
Yeah, and tell your story.
Yep.
Tell your story. Don't forget about the story that you have before you got to where you are. Tell that story. You don't have to hide it. You don't have to hold it back. Let it out, because it may resonate with somebody that's right where you used to be.
Absolutely. So, Dewan, can you tell us, can you explain, what is a tech ecosystem or ecosystem? I've been kind of hearing those buzzwords between that and coding, and I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right.
Yeah. So if you think of any ecosystem, it kind of works together in like everything kind of builds off of each other, and I'll kind of explain it in tech. Basically, it's a collection of apps or businesses, startups that kind of work together. If you think of a typical business like Netflix, they offer movies and shows on demand. But behind the scenes, they need email for communication, so they may work with Microsoft to use Outlook.
Okay.
And then they also need to host their videos somewhere so they can deliver them to customers. So they may host them on S3 in AWS. So they work with these different companies and create an ecosystem to deliver products. Just like in any community, you have people that live in that community, but then you have McDonald's that serves burgers, but they also need to work with the water company, the electric company. So that's a whole entire ecosystem that works together.
You broke that down real good, because I really understand. Got it. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so Dewan, so what is coding? Because I'm hearing a lot of initiatives, especially for young people in high school and even younger. Like they're really honing in coding camps, and I read something. Girls coding. So what is coding?
All right. I'll keep it as simple as possible. So coding is writing programs to tell a computer to do something. Now, what does that mean? Yeah. So think of when we write manual instructions for other people to follow and do something. Well, coding is writing these instructions and giving it to a computer so it can go send an email, or so it can do different programs or different applications that you wanted to do. That's all coding is. Just talking to computers and telling them to work for you.
Oh, my goodness. Something as simple as that. Oh, my goodness. Wow. I'm thinking about hey, maybe I could have a little career in look a part-time in tech industry.
It does take work though. It does take work. But the interesting thing is we've come so far from the days of everybody having to write a million lines of code in order to build the next iPhone. Now we have a thing called low code and no code, to where you can have applications that are drag and drop, or you click a mouse and you say if this then that, and then it will do the coding for you on the back end. So you may not even know how to write code, but it's a website out there that are kind of let's say like Squarespace. Rather than writing the code to develop a website, you just drag your pictures in, put the words in that you want, and then your website is online in about 15, 20 minutes.
Wow. So what type of education do you need, to transition to, the tech field, or, does one need a college degree? So what type of education do you need?
So I'll speak for myself. I have an associate's degree, but I also have certifications. So if I had to go back, I think a combination of certifications and being self-taught in something like programming is the cheapest, and it has the best ROI or return on investment. You can go to college because college teaches you things like soft skills. It helps you focus and dedicate to a task. It helps you network with other people. But the problem with college that people sometimes face is that by the time you graduate college, spend 4 years in that college, whatever you learned in college is probably outdated.
Wow.
And that's how fast tech moves. So that's part of the challenge with college. Not saying college is a bad thing, because things like computer science, the concepts behind computer science are kind of like long lived. But some of the other areas in tech, like security is always evolving. Network engineering is always evolving. So by the time you graduate college, some of that things that you learn are probably going to be not as relevant or outdated.
Okay, got it. So, Dewan, I was all on your YouTube. I'm telling y'all, family, y'all got to check out his YouTube. I'm telling you. Oh, and then you have 50,000 followers, subscribers. I'm like, oh my goodness, y'all, Dewan's really doing it. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay. For clarity, it's like 49.5. It's 50. Listen, we speaking that to existence right now.
Let's go. Let's speak 100 then. Let's speak 100 then. Let's go.
Yes, y'all got to go check out his YouTube channel. I'm telling you, it is amazing. It really is. So I watched this interview you had with this guy, and the man said he fried chicken in a gas station for 10 years. I was like, what?
Oh, yeah.
And he successfully transitioned to IT. I was just like, oh my goodness.
Danny Thompson is really inspiring. He was a fried chicken cook at a gas station. He taught himself how to code. I think he may have went through a boot camp or something. I can't remember that part. But he learned software development, and he transitioned now. I think at one point he was working at Google. Now he just got hired at AutoZone. He's doing all types of great things, like from a fry cook to inspiring others in tech. He's doing big things.
Yes, I was so tickled because he said the people called him Popeye. I was like, well, you better go ahead, Brother Danny, and fry that chicken. So Dewan, so basically, if this man did this and many other testimonials that I saw, anyone can start a career in technology.
For the most part. I mean, so it is going to take some work.
Right.
Like when I talk about live every day, some of the technologies is going to be a challenge to wrap your head around it. But it's not saying that you can't learn it. It's just that you're going to have to be dedicated to learn it. You're going to have to, bump your head, make some mistakes, struggle, take a week to learn things, take a month to learn things, talk to mentors, read books, watch videos, lab it up for yourself. There's so many ways to learn, and there's so many resources out there that there's really no excuse. But again, you got to be willing to put in the work to do it.
Oh my goodness. So Dewan, what are some of the myths that prevent African Americans and even women from considering the IT industry? What are some of the myths?
I think that we aren't smart enough. We aren't good enough. We're lazy. Those are some of the myths, I think those are like the most common you may hear. Or that even not only that, but we're hard to work with. We may be challenging to work with.
Okay. Okay. Oh my goodness. So Dewan, let's just say there's a high school student that's listening, or someone freshly, out of high school or out of college. They're at an entry level place, or they could be somewhere, a seasoned professional such as myself, and working for county government for over 20 something years. And they're seeking to transition into the tech industry. What steps would they need to take to try to transition? Again, would it be a tech program, or what type of steps would they need to take, to begin that transition?
Okay, so the first thing you need to do is be curious about technology.
That's good.
And what do I mean by that? Well, first of all, find out about the different job fields in tech, like network engineering, software development, machine learning, being a cloud engineer. Those are just a security professional.
Mm-hmm.
Those are just some of the job titles. I will research those, see which ones interest you, and then from there, keep it simple. Watch YouTube videos around those topics, just to be curious to learn more. And once you find out, okay, I'm interested in learning how to code, well, then from there, you can watch some more YouTube videos to learn how to code. There's free online books where you can learn how to code. There's courses through Coursera, Berkeley. What's another MIT, where they have Python courses and coding courses for free online. All of that is available. So
and you said for free? You said for free?
For free. These are all free. Most of everything you want to learn in tech is online for free. And so that's some of the things I talk about on my channel. But I would get started with coding, learn a little bit about Linux, which is like a Windows operating system, but it's not Windows, just to keep it simple.
Right,
and then I would learn about cloud computing, which is basically computers that operate in the cloud. So I would learn about that. And everything that I mentioned, you can get started with for free. All you need is a laptop. But I know people in Africa, like in Nigeria, that get started on their phone learning how to code. So there's really no excuse.
You said on the phone?
I promise. On their phone.
Gosh.
That's how bad they want it. And so that's the last piece. We're learning, we're being curious. We're learning what we want to do. We're establishing what we want to do. We're working towards what we want to do. Now you have to be passionately obsessed about learning and being successful in this industry, because it's one thing to be motivated, but motivation leaves. It's one thing to be inspired, but inspiration leaves. But what does not leave is consistency and work ethic. So you want it bad enough, put in that work, and you can achieve your goals.
Wow, that is awesome. Oh my goodness, I'm still stuck on people are coding on their cell phones. That's powerful. That is powerful. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you that's and you know what? If you think about it, that's really what we need to be able. We should be using our cell phones, for things like that, as far as to help us grow and advance. Because sometimes we can just get lost in the sauce of all the scrolling. But utilizing this technology, utilizing these phones and all this technology to really, again, advance our careers and go to the next level.
And you know what? I missed one thing that I didn't mention. One thing you should learn is about business.
That's good.
Whatever field that you want to be in or decide to be in tech, you have to learn about the business of that specific field, as well as the business of IT, information technology. Because a lot of times it isn't about, okay, I want to make six figures. It's about, okay, I want to make six figures. What skills do I need to make six figures? What job is going to pay me six figures? What companies are going to pay me six figures? And then what is beyond six figures? And who's making that in six figures? You know what I mean? So understand all of these pieces and seeing, okay, if I work for this company, what are the chances it's going to help me in this job to get to where I want to be? Because a lot of times you may have to start with 30, 40,000, and then, but sometimes that 30, 40,000 job will give you the skills to make 80,000 or 100,000 if you just stay in that position for 18 months. Wow. That's one of the things that happened to me. I took a step back. I took a pay cut 20% just to take a job because I knew the skills that it would give me. And that one job helped me get to where I am today. And that job was 6 years ago.
Oh my goodness. Wow. The sky is the limit.
the sky is the limit. I promise you.
Wow. Oh my goodness. That is something. So tell us, what are the benefits of working in IT? And I know it's the money. But what is some of the... Hey, we all like money now. So what are some of the other benefits? Right.
Yeah, the money can be good,
Okay.
The money can be good. But I think for me, the benefits is learning, expanding my mind. building my confidence, with technology, and then just being able to help people. And that's probably first.
Yeah.
Being able to help people by helping people in my family with tech, as well as helping people get jobs by telling them my story or connecting them with other people. So that's some of the benefits for me.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So listen, I got to say this. Parents, if you have a child and they know how to work, the young people know how to work everything. Encourage your young people, to get into this industry. I know that we have there is an Intel plant that is coming to Columbus, Ohio, and I'm hearing that all of the jobs, Dewan, are starting off at six figures. Yes, so it's just you want to get in the pipeline, encourage, your young people. And then I was doing some research too, Dewan, where it was saying that non-tech jobs are also a great opportunity in these tech companies. So, for example, if you're in HR, or if you're in sales, if you're in marketing, so there are other areas that that you can be successful, in this in the tech industry. So that's awesome. Yes. Oh my goodness.
That's a fact. You got HR, you got program managers, you got like you mentioned, people in marketing. There's so many different fields that. Think of an ecosystem. You think of any business where they have these different sectors in a production company, program managers, HR, marketing, sales. All of these are in tech companies. All of these positions that are in a typical business are in tech companies. And like you mentioned, some of them and many of them pay very well.
That's awesome. Oh my goodness. Dewan, this has been amazing. So Dewan, tell the people, where can we find you on social media? You everywhere too. I was like, go ahead, Dewan. Where you at on social media?
So you can find me on YouTube at Live Every Day, or you can search my name, Dewan Lightfoot. You can find me on Twitter at Live Every Day, as well as LinkedIn at Dewan Lightfoot.
Dewan, thank you for joining me today. Dewan, you are an inspiration. Listen, we are so proud of you. You are representing our hometown of Canton, Ohio. We love you, your family, your mother. Oh my goodness, everybody. And your Aunt Angie. Oh my goodness. Tell the fam we said hello. And the next time I'm in the DMV area, we gotta connect. We gotta connect to see everyone. Again, I'm so proud of you. God bless you and your family. I'm your host, Lady C. Remember, with God, all things are possible. Remember, you have purpose, and it's time to rise and shine. Join me weekly here on 1580thepraise.com.